There has been a rumor for at least 4 years now that Cody Ko slept with Tana Mongeau when she was 17 and he was 25. Although I personally believe her, many do not. Tana Mongeau has had a controversial presence on the internet since she started her YouTube channel. This is true compared to Cody Ko, who is seen as one of YouTube's golden boys, or at least the golden boy of the commentary community. Due to this, a lot of people do not believe Tana's story. However, there are plenty of other elements of her story and her time on YouTube that I feel as though aren't talked about enough relating to her teenage self and sexualization. Moreover, the perfect victim complex, which I will explain, but before that, I will be giving background on Tana's life, career, controversies, and collaborative videos she did in the past that I deem to be pretty questionable. Tana Marie Mojo was born on June 24th, 1998 in Las Vegas, Nevada, to her parents Rick and Rebecca Mojo. She has talked numerous times about having a tumultuous relationship with them. They moved around Vegas a lot. She says and would live in dangerous areas sometimes. Her dad was a Vietnam vet, and her mom had extreme social anxiety. She has spoken about wanting to write about her childhood in depth, but her parents have silenced her due to them suing her. She expressed feeling like she had to grow up at a young age and had to raise her parents. Tana released her first YouTube video 10 years ago on May 15, 2015. Hairdresser from Hell still lives on TikTok through the bleach and tone bit. Other well known videos under her belt include I Got Banged with a Toothbrush, which in general is a huge meme. I Got My Sexist Principal Fired, which is one of my personal favorites from middle school. How I Did My Makeup in High School, the How to Cake Your Face Like a Pro series, and several videos about a stalker she had since elementary school. Many of her storytime videos, which is what she was known for, were seen as being fake. My middle school self did not give a fuck and thought they were entertaining as hell. She was liked due to having no filter, being very vulgar, swearing a lot, talking about drinking and drug use, and often discussing sexual topics, which were things that also a lot of people didn't like her for, usually people that were older. She used clickbait titles, often sexual clickbait titles, like one titled, I Talk About Anal Sex, from August 22nd, 2015. In the description, she even says that it is clickbait. This was also during a time when there were a lot of lifestyle creators who were popular, who were mostly family friendly, so she stood out. As her channel grew, she was able to venture into collabs through her own collab channel called Trash, although it didn't last very long. She collaborated with other popular YouTubers such as Cody Ko, Gabbie, Shane Dawson, etc., but I will be getting back to them. As she's grown into her career, she's gone on tour several times, branched into music, including a music video called Hafner that featured her girlfriend at the time, Bella Thorne, and for a minute had a wine brand called Dizzy that disappeared. She's been pretty successful in her decade long run on YouTube. She even scored a 2 season MTV reality TV show on YouTube called Tana Turns 21, which was released in 2020. The show had 2 seasons. It showed her life in LA through her 21st birthday, her relationship with her friends, and her former manager, Jordan. Furthermore, it showed her relationship with Jake Paul. They had a kind of PR relationship. They had several collaborative videos and a fake wedding in July 2019. Even though everybody knew it was fake as hell, Tana still went as far as to change her name on her social media to Tana Paul. They even charged fans to watch the live stream of the wedding. They broke up in late 2019. With success comes controversy. I will be only talking about major controversies, as Tana has had many throughout her career. On December 10, 2016, Tana tweeted at iDubbbz, so 3 million people subscribe to you, and you openly say the N word and the R word, kill yourself. After this, in 2017, as a part of his content comp video, iDubbbz went up to her at a meet and greet and said the hard R N word. He was referring to a video of her when she was younger, which she called her friend Amari the hard R. There are also tweets of her saying racist things also towards Amari, where one says from March 31st, 2014, when she calls Amari a cotton picker. Then another one from March 4th, 2014, where she says, I have a puzzle for you. Amara equals, and it's the hard R without the N and without one of the G's. After the interaction with iDub, she had made a video titled The N Word, where she talked about the situation. She claims that he locked his arms around her neck when she didn't, and she also weirdly acted as if she didn't realize that it was iDubbbz. This video was featured in the Content Cop video. That video is now deleted, but there are reposts. In 2018, Tana launched her own creator fan meet and greet event called TanaCon. She created this after being mistreated at VidCon. The TLDR is that she would be made to think that she was a featured creator, but wasn't. This issue was exacerbated at the 2017 VidCon by her appearance in Escape the Night, a YouTube series in which the season 2 was promoted heavily at the 2017 VidCon. Her image as a saloon girl was shown all over it, and she even had a panel. Yet she was still not a featured creator. So she created her own event. TanaCon was planned for the same weekend as VidCon on June 22nd to 23rd, 2018. However, due to horrific planning, it went horribly. Many fans were scammed, or many fans felt scammed, technically. The venue was over capacity, and many got sunburned and passed out from heat exhaustion. Shane Dawson made a three-part series to investigate, so to speak, even though it clearly went wrong because of horrible planning, like I said. On June 15, 2020, Colin Berry posted a video about racist behavior he experienced from Tana. Before the content comp video came out, he actually stood up for Tana after she had posted a Snapchat video saying that she thought that the N word just meant homie or friend. However, after he saw the videos of her saying the N word, he realized that she had lied. He tried to hold her accountable, but she was defensive and dismissive. She yelled at him while he was on a Skype call with his subscribers, and she knew this, but she lied and claimed that he set her up. Colin fell into a horrible mental state due to this and felt isolated and powerless. She later lied about him getting arrested at a Playlist Live party after he was declined to go in. On July 8th, 2020, Simply Nessa15 released a YouTube video about experiencing mistreatment from Tana. She was inspired by Colin's video expressing the same thing. She says she was microaggressed by Tana and her former manager, Jordan. They tried to paint her out to be the angry black woman. Some thought Nessa was bad news because of Tana and Jordan, and they apologized to her after Colin's video. She experienced a back and forth with Tana and Jordan. She was gaslit by Tana, and Jordan was telling people that she was schizophrenic, and they were in general painting her as dangerous and aggressive. It got so bad that no one trusted her in LA, and she was hospitalized. Now I will be talking about some collaborative videos that she's done where she's with someone a significant amount older than her and the vibes are off and weird. They show a comfortability in the sexualization of Tana. As much as Tana has sexualized herself since the start of her channel, doesn't mean people who are significantly older than her get to do the same. The idea of young girls sexualizing themselves is commonly used as a defense when they are clearly being taken advantage of and or don't have proper boundaries with those who are older than them. This video is a vlog. This first video is a vlog and have other clips that are related. I unfortunately do not know exactly when these clips were posted. In the vlog, Tana was 19 and former Vlog Squad cult member Jason Nash was in his 40s. The video starts with Tana and Jason going into a house with some of the Vlog Squad members. I know Scotty Sire is on the couch in the middle. David Dobrik is on the far right, and Toddy Smith is by the door frame. I'm not sure who the person in white is. They probably are a Vlog Squad member, but I don't know for sure. David is talking about ideas, I'm guessing for his vlog, and says Tana and Jason have sex. I walk in and madness ensues. Remember what I said before. Tana's 19 and Jason is in his 40s. Tana and Jason get into a car. Tana says, am I the number one stepmom yet? Because Jason has 2 kids. And Jason says, I would love to pull up with you in carpool. Then they talk about Jason's divorce. Tana talks about them being on this date for views and says she's going to give him a makeover. They talk about dating as YouTubers for a couple minutes. They're in the mall. Jason starts trying on clothes, and Tana says it's giving midlife crisis. Jason talks about what it's like to have kids. They're in Tijuana, and a worker asks them what they're doing, and Jason says we're on our first date, and then the worker laughs, and Tana looks like shocked or surprised that he said that, and he said last apparently. Then they go to Banana Republic. He tries on something and says, "Am I gonna get laid in this, Tana?" And she says, "I don't know." He tries on another and says, "Where am I going to wear this?" And Tana says, "To Cabo San Lucas to pull underage bitches." Then he says, "Are you paying?" They leave the mall. They talk about Jason's daughter, who was 8 at the time, and Tana asks what he'd do if she acted and dressed like her. And Jason says, "Turn the camera off," but then says he's just kidding. Tana says that she's psychic and she guesses a color that he's thinking. She's like 1, 2, 3, and they both say blue. Then Jason's like, think of a year between 1990 and 1999, and after 1, 2, 3 says I love you, and then says oh shit, like as a joke, but it's still weird. Tana and Jason talk about their date with David and Jason claims that Tana immediately said yes when the worker asked if they wanted a dressing room together. He also said he talked to Big Nick, which was another former Vlog Squad cult member, about filming with her, and Big Nick claimed that she wanted to fuck him. He says Tana took a long time. Jason says Tana took a long time leaving the dressing room, and he says, "If I don't try something, it's going to eat me alive."
My phone's in my pocket, plugging one into the portable charger. Like
in my mind, I was like, if I don't try something, it's gonna eat me alive.
What would you do?
For the rest, I leaned in for a kiss.
He pecked my mouth. I was so confused.
I literally, like, maybe we touched a lip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he says that he kissed her. As you can see in the clip before, he kissed her. And Tana's like, clearly like weirded out by it and talking about she's confused. And remember, Tana is 19 and this man is in his 40s. Then there's a clip at the end of Jason saying to David that if he can get Tana to have a threesome with him and Trisha, he'll buy him a Ferrari. He says he'll be his slave for a year. He's like, I'll do anything if you can get her to do it. Then there's a later clip of Tana where David is about to ask her. Then there's another clip where David asks Tana how she feels about Jason wanting to have a threesome with her, and she says, "Why me out of all people?" And David says, "Because he likes broken girls." And Jason says that that's true. This clip is from a video titled "The Deleted Footage Involved in David Dobrik, Jason Nash, and Trisha Paytas Fight" from a channel called Popular Vlog Mashup. Jason Nash is beyond fucking creepy for this, especially knowing that she was a teenager at the time. In the later clips, I'm not sure how old Tana is because I noticed that in between the vlog before and then the later clips, she has veneers. So I'm not sure how much older she is, but even then, she's still 20 years younger than him, so it's still fucking weird. He should not have kissed her in that dressing room, and he should not have been acting that way towards her. But David is also a fucking weirdo. You notice how I called him and Big Nick cult members because the Vlog Squad was basically a fucking cult. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the Vlog Squad videos. I never watched David Dobrik or pretty much anyone in the Vlog Squad. I think the only one that I watched a little bit when I was like, I don't know, maybe like 10 was Gabbie Hanna because she was also at part of the Vlog Squad at one point. But yeah, I said David's a weirdo. We've been knew that. All I'll say is there is a deleted vlog that David posted related to Dirty Dom's sexual assault allegations. The second video is a video that was posted on April 6, 2016, called "Do We Spit or Swallow?" with Channon Rose. In this video, Tana was 17 and Channon was 30. In this video, they play a raunchy version of Heads Up called Odious Censor. The first card Channon got was Spit or Swallow. So Tana does certain motions, sexual motions, to help Channon figure it out. Then Shannon's second card, wait, sorry. Tana's first card is real estate agent. I don't know why it is because that's not anything raunchy, but anyways. Then Shannon's second card is reverse cowgirl, and Tana does a good job at helping her figure it out. And so Channon says, Tana's good at these sex ones, guys. She's got it on lock. The next few are pretty tame. Then Tana gets Pop Your Cherry, and Channon hesitates and acts almost as if she's shocked at it being raunchy. It's almost like she shouldn't be playing a game like this as a 17-year-old when she's 30. Then Channon gets Squirt. The last few are pretty tame. At the end of the game, Tana wins and gets to tweet on Shannon's Twitter. Channon doesn't have Twitter. She has something called Tweetbot that tweets for her. Channon says something like, "I don't have Twitter. I'm old." Oh my god, I don't have Twitter. I'm old. And Tana says, "Yeah, this is something my mom would do." This awareness of the fact that she's so much older than Tana when it comes to having Twitter, but yet she doesn't realize that she shouldn't be playing a sexual game with a teenager, with a 17-year-old, you know. In this next video, it technically doesn't explicitly sexualize Tana, but it is important for what I'm going to be talking about later and what I talked about at the beginning of the video. This video is one that was posted on May 13th, 2016, called The Shittiest Video Ever, featuring Cody Ko. Tana was 17 and Cody was 25. Only 32 seconds into the video, and Cody's clearly checking Tana out, if you know what I mean.
Two. Alright, so
The video is supposed to be about Tana teaching him teen slang. He says, "Teach me some teen slang. I'm way too old to be on YouTube." She knows a bunch of cool words and slang because she's a teen or whatever. It's like there's a bunch of emphasis on her being a teenager. It's really weird, especially now. Then we have some foreshadowing in this next clip.
I really see myself, I'm really small, I'm really small, I'm really small, I'm really small.
The video is mostly a nothing burger when it comes to them actually doing anything, but watching it now, because I had previously watched it as a young teenager, it is uncomfortable because the tension is really there, The next video is one that was posted on June 28th, 2016, 4 days after Tana turned 18, so it very well could have been recorded before she turned 18. It is titled Weird Childhood Dildo Stories featuring Gabbie Hanna. It says the Gabbie Show because that's what she used to go by. Gabbie was 25. In the video, she and Gabbie talk about childhood stories. There isn't much with this video. It just in general is with the problem is the weird sexual talk with a teenager when you're 25. For example, Tana mentions dress code. You know how girls weren't able to show their shoulders. And so she shows her shoulders towards Gabbie and she's like, "Are you hard?" And Gabbie's like, "Yeah, I've been hard since you got here." Hate sex. And it's just really fucking weird and uncomfortable. I'm 21 and I wouldn't even talk to an 18-year-old like this. I mean, she was 18. Like I said, we don't know. She could have still been 17. But anyways, I think it's weird to be 20. I just think it's weird to be 25 and to even be friends with a teenager. Um, there's even a video they did in 2017 that was a part two to them reading mean tweets that they did, where Gabbie reads out a tweet saying, "Quit hanging out with kids and trying to be trendy." And she says, "So true, all my friends are children." Also, another thing with her being weirdly sexual with her again. The next video is one from December 8th, 2016, titled Sexual Dirty Truth or Dare, featuring JC Caylen. Tana was 18 and JC was 24. In this video, Tana and JC are playing a game where they have to answer a mature question or eat something gross. Tana is asked who out of all the guys she's hooked up with had the smallest dick, but she bleeps it, another foreshadow. They both ask each other a series of sexual questions, including the first question JC asks, which technically he asks, "Who touched you inappropriately?" The last person that touched you inappropriately, Which, first of all, he claims that he did it to be more PG-13, which is weird because this is supposed to be sexual dirty truth or dare. But then he's like, okay, well, actually, it's who was the last person that fingered you? And she says ill in reply. Similar to the Cody Ko video, there's weird sexual tension between them. JC gives off the vibe of a guy trying to act cool and nonchalant around his crush. There's a moment where Tana puts flour in her mouth after not answering a question and spits it out, and it makes a mess. And JC gags and then like looks and opens between her legs. It's like really fucking weird. Like, and it makes me uncomfortable.
Okay, here's the small dicks.
Cheers to baby dicks.
to baby dicks. Put it put it in your mouth more. Great. Oh, love that.
Now this next video is a big one. This is a heavy hitter. I actually originally was going to put all these videos in chronological order, but I had to save this one for last because it is one of the most damning ones. Okay. This is a video from October 5th, 2016, titled I Peed on Shane Dawson, You Wish This Was Clickbait. Tana was 18 and Shane was 28. This is actually Tana's most viewed video with 22 million views. Now, if you don't know already, Shane's already been aired out for being a degenerate in 2020 when several of his old videos resurfaced of him doing blackface. A lot of pedophilic jokes and skits and like stuff with bestiality as well. So in retrospect, this is not really shocking. It's still disgusting though. I remember watching this when I was 12 years old and loving it because I was a huge fan of both of them at the time. Looking back now, it's disgusting and uncomfortable. I actually had no idea about Shane's past and all the gross stuff that he did back in the day. Because he had like a whole revamp. What's the specific word I'm looking for? Like a rebrand. Yeah, it's it. Like a whole rebrand. This like whole soft boy, like I'm such an empath type bullshit brand. But anyways, the whole point of this video is to do stuff now that Tana is 18. This video was uploaded 4 months after her 18th birthday. It very well could have been filmed sooner, though. She mentioned that she met him when she was 17. As Shane says, this starts to sound like a really scary Tumblr post, and I don't like it. Which is ironic considering what a fucking creep he is. And the whole point of this video being creepy anyways, like, it's really weird. Like, there's no difference. Like, even if she was still 17, even though she is 18 in this video, it's just like it's not really any different. Like, you're still almost 30, acting like this towards someone who just turned 18 and who's a teenager. It's still fucking weird. Tana says, like, every time you said something in front of me, you were like, fuck, she's 17. Like, we were gonna watch horse porn. Whatever the fuck that means. He says he has a list of things, and the initiation process should be for you to see me naked. And mentions showing her a pube, then he proceeds to show her a pube. He shows her gay porn. Tana says, referring to the porn video, this one's putting in work, like fuck it up, queen. That's Trevor Moran. If you don't know, Trevor Moran now goes by Trevi Moran because she's transitioned and she identifies as a woman, but I'm quoting exactly from the video. Shane laughs and says, oh my god, when he turns 18, Tana says, when he turns 18, y'all are gonna pipe.
Just watching.
When he turns 18, like, you're gonna pipe.
Forever?
Yeah.
There was a rumor that we did.
I ship it. I hella ship it.
Ugh. I mean, look, I guess I'll give him credit for having a gross out face, but does that really matter in the grand scheme of things? Not really. Then she drinks kombucha. She talks about getting drunk. Then he starts to tell her a story about a time when someone threw up while sucking his dick. And every time he says an especially explicit detail, she says 18, like, yo, because I'm finally 18, y'all. This being 18 is about, it's about someone who's almost 30 telling sexual stories towards me. But anyways, right before he tells the story, he's like, I can tell you now because you're 18. He asks if she's ever been peed on. She says it's her life goal to pee on someone. She says she'll pee on him.
Amazing. It is a life goal of mine. I'm so sorry, Mom, to piss on someone.
We should do it.
Can I piss on you?
Yes. Do you want to?
Shit, I will piss fuck you.
The next thing on Shane list is for them to smoke cigarettes, but they don't actually do it. Then she straddles him and pees on him as they're cheering that she's 18. Really fucking disgusting and a really hard watch, honestly. Now I will be talking about the Cody Ko situation. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Tana Mongeau stated that she and Cody Ko hooked up when she was 17 and he was 25. This has been a rumor since at least 2021 when she mentioned being underage hooking up with Cody Ko and JC Caylen on her podcast. She also brought this back up at a live show she did in 2024 where she was asked, "Who's the smallest dick you've ever had sex with?" And she says Cody Ko. And she says, "I can say that. I was literally 17. I can say that." She says that Gabbie Hanna told him that Tana was underage, but he still hooked up with her. There's a clip from a deleted podcast where Tana relays a story that lines up with this, but she doesn't name drop Tana and Cody. There was an episode of her podcast where she talked about this. I cannot find the episode. I'm not sure if it was deleted or if I just had a hard time looking for it. She says that when it started to surface, Cody texted her saying, "Are we good?" and talked about his wedding coming up. Cody and his now wife Kelsey got married in February of 2023. She recognized that this is a crime that because what she is accusing Cody of is statutory rape. She also makes it clear that she was a fan of Cody, which also adds to the power dynamic. To be a teenager and to be a fan of someone, to have someone look up to, show you interest in really any way, it would be exciting. I'd imagine that if I was 17 years old and I had like if I was in let's say for example, if I was in the YouTube space and I had a YouTuber that I looked up to, and they showed interest in me that way, I probably would be inclined to maybe, participate. But that doesn't mean that I'm not still underage, and that doesn't mean that she still wasn't underage, and that doesn't mean he didn't take advantage of her because he did. She talks about how if Cody was someone who wasn't adored, people would be more inclined to believe her, and I 100% agree. She said that she doesn't see what happened to her really as trauma because she's been through worse. That doesn't make the situation any better, though. What Cody did was still wrong, and it was a crime. But of course, there's still people trying to find any way and any reason to not believe her and defend Cody. Here's some screenshots from DeAndre Wallace's video on the situation. These are actual comments that he put in his video. One saying, "You just believe any nasty slag with a gaper that says whatever, I guess." Fucking disgusting. Such a disgusting thing to say. Another one says, "She seems like the cliche party girl who gets wasted drunk doing whatever drug a guy will give her, sleeps with anyone who will give her attention, and then later regrets it. I wonder why." It's almost like she had bad parents and she doesn't have a figure, doesn't have guidance. She didn't have guidance in her life. But they do say she had shitty parents who didn't give her proper love, attention, and care that she deserved and needed as a child. It's unfortunate, but just because she has childhood trauma doesn't mean we have to believe her or side with her if she willingly slept with him. Yeah, it makes him skeezy, but acting like he's a rapist or a crazy sex offender is a reach. It actually doesn't matter. It actually is a crime. It's weird that people kind of look at when they look at rape, they always look at it as something that has to be like super, super extremely violent, or it just like doesn't fucking matter. But that's not the case. It doesn't matter if she willingly did it. She still was a minor. She was still 17, and like I said before, you have the power dynamic as well in there. That also is a problem. He is still wrong. What he did was a crime. It was rape. You know what I'm saying? Then this other one says, "First of all, it's Tana. Of course she would sleep with him. She is also 17, which is old enough to have a clear idea of what you're doing. So yes, it's fine." It's like, no, it's not. People really don't understand how much you can change mindsets when you're like an older teenager to like being in your 20s. Like I dude, the mindset I had like I said before, I'm 21. The mindset I had before, when I was the way that my mind has changed from 17 to 21 is crazy. I'm not at all in the same mindset that I was when I was 17. It's like, and again, even if that is the case, like it doesn't matter. Like it still was. It is. This is still a situation where it is legally wrong. It's not, because I know a lot of the times if it like toe the line, like if it's someone who is 18 and then it was someone who's like well into their 20s, then people love to bring up the law and be like, well, it's technically legal, but this isn't even a situation like that. It wasn't legal. She was 17 and he was 25. It was a fucking crime. That point blank period. Um, Other comments say, I believe it, but it was also acting super old, hanging out with old celebrities and everything at that age. He shouldn't have done what he did, but she definitely wanted to. Again, it's the whole situation of putting the responsibility on the girl. And like I showed before of those videos of her hanging out with older people, it's like, but that's not on her. It's on you as the older person to set boundaries and to not be sexual around a fucking teenager. That's on you. It's on the older party. It's weird when you see situations where young girls are hanging out with older people and people are always finding a way to put it on the girl. It's like, no, the older person in the situation is supposed to know better. They're supposed to be the one to set the boundaries. Another one says, I'm gonna have a hot take, and no one cares, I know, but no, no, no. No one, absolutely no one cares if a 25-year-old dates a 17-year-old. You can pretend you care all you want to tell yourself you're better than anyone else and to tell the world how virtuous you are, but you don't care. No one does. To try to claim that someone is claiming to be virtuous just because they think it's gross for a 25-year-old to date a 17-year-old is insane. Like, to pretend like you care and say that think that you're better than everybody. It's like, yeah, I do think I'm better than anybody who thinks that it's okay for a 25-year-old to date a 17-year-old. Yeah, I do think I'm better than you if you think that that's okay. Are you fucking kidding me? Then this last one that says, "Nah, I ride for Cody till I die." It's bullshit. Till there's any actual evidence, Tana has never been a trustworthy source for anything in her life. Um, how would she have any evidence for this? Genuinely, how would she have any evidence for this? And this is always something that happens anytime allegations comes out against someone. They're always talking about evidence. But how can someone have any actual evidence of someone assaulting them? Of someone or them having sex, because I guess technically, like they say she wanted it, but like it's still a fucking illegal. But like how would she have any evidence of this? Unless it was recorded in any way, or unless Cody admitted it through text or whatever the fuck or something like that. Because I remember in one of her podcast episodes, she actually said that she could probably, if she could find one of her old phones or something like that, she probably could find textual texts about this. But other than that, how would she have any evidence of this? Genuinely, how would she have any evidence? There was actually a case where a girl was assaulted by someone, and I'm not sure if she actually was able to record the actual assault or it was the person admitting it, but it was one of those. And instead of her getting justice, she ended up being charged for recording that person without their consent. That's a situation where she actually had evidence, and look at what that landed her. It, like, I don't understand what these people mean when they say, where's evidence? It's like, genuinely, how are they supposed to have evidence of this? It doesn't make any sense. But I bet you're thinking, has Cody said anything about this? Not at all. He has yet to directly address this. Again, this has been talked about for at least 4 years now. He stopped posting for months on all his channels, even gone as far as to stop appearing on the TMG podcast. As said in a post from Cody and Noel, saying that he will not be involved in day-to-day operations. This is a screenshot of the post that they posted about this. I believe that this shows that he's guilty. I believe he should address an allegation like this because of the gravity of it and the misogynistic hostility that Tana has experienced since coming out with this story. You think that, for at least the sake of his reputation and public perception, he'd say something. but I guess not. But this lines up with Cody's past of badly handling controversies, such as him saying the N word in the old Vine, him also saying the T slur in an old TMG episode. But something that many people do not know is about his friendship with a man named Colby Leachman. Colby Leachman was a frat in Duke University with Cody and was frequently featured in his old vlogs. He was put on probation for unauthorized surveillance and photography, or um, participating in a non-consensual videotaping of a sex act with another student, and therefore showed the video to other people. He lied about lying to the police, um, and who even, under their own version of facts, behaved horribly to the victim and to another woman. And the woman, the victim, actually stated that she was drugged and did not consent to anything in that happened, meaning that he's at best recorded a sex act without the permission of someone in the video, and at worst is a rapist and recorded his crime and showed that to other people. And in this other screenshot, it shows that Kobe is the son of a Duke professor, which most likely is why he got off after doing this. Cody had this man in his videos and promoted him, and he was recently at Cody's wedding in 2023. As stated before, he got married to Kelsey in 2023. Cody totally couldn't be capable of doing statutory rape, right? I mean, there's no proof if we're being technical about it, like everybody's saying. But what reason do we have to believe that he didn't do it? Like I said, his silence shows guilt. I think his silence is very loud. I'm just saying that for me personally, if I was accused of sleeping with a 17-year-old at 25, I'd immediately come out and say it isn't true. If I didn't do it, I say it wasn't true. But for him to not only be silent and censoring his comment section on his YouTube channels, but to also, like I said before, go as far as to stop appearing on TMG Studios, a studio that he co-founded and is a big part of why he has his career, just says guilty to me. With all that being said, as shown before, people do not believe Tana, as because of Tana being a not so likable person. This is attributed to something called the perfect victim complex. As defined from Strong Hearts Helpline, the perfect or ideal victim narrative is a widespread phenomenon that not only potentially prevents a victim from reporting assaults, it almost always ensures that a defense attorney will use appearance, behavior, and reputation to refute a criminal case in a court of law. Unfortunately, the media often portrays the perfect victim as a Snow White fairy tale innocent. According to Jason B. Whiting, whose research delves into deception, communication, and abuse in relationships, the ideal victim profile consists of 5 traits in which the victim must be: weak and vulnerable, involved in a respectable activity at the time of victimization. And this relates back to that comment that was talking about her being a typical party girl and doing drugs and stuff, because that is a common defense that people use against victims, is that, well, you were drunk, you shouldn't have gotten that drunk, you shouldn't be doing these drugs, you know you shouldn't be around all these people you don't know, why were you even there, things like that, why did you get that drunk, it's your fault, you shouldn't have gotten that, things like that. um, Blameless in all aspects of the interaction basically means that if there is any possible way that they could have been kept from being in that situation, then it is their fault. They'll find that and try to blame that on them. That reminds me of a story that I read in an article that was talking about this woman that said that she was assaulted by a friend of hers, where she went into his house willingly because they were friends and she trusted him, and he assaulted her. In that situation, she said that she didn't think anyone would believe her because she willingly went in his house. And in that situation, they would use that against her and be like, "Well, you went into his house willingly, you know, even though she was his friend. That was her friend, and she trusted him." Victimized by an obvious offender. That goes back to Tana saying that if Cody wasn't likable, then people would be more inclined to believe her. Because if he was someone that had already showed very glaring, creepy, like tendencies and things like that, people would 100% be more likely to believe her. And someone who doesn't know the defender, basically, it has to do with the situation, how people blame. people, when they talk about rape, they act like it's something that only happens like from a stranger in a dark alley when you're walking home alone, even though that's not true. You're more likely to be assaulted by someone that you know. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm not saying that you can't be walking down the street alone and get assaulted by a random person in an alleyway. I'm just saying that you are more likely to be assaulted by someone who is who you know and who you trust, like a friend. Like a friend, like family, things like that. And that's it for my video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Um, this is my first ever big like research video. Um, I'll definitely do more in the future. Not all my videos are gonna be like this. I don't plan to make like super big research video for all my videos, but I really wanted to talk about this and like do a deep dive on a topic like this. Recently we've seen a lot of influx and talk about victims of abuse and taking it being taken advantage of, stuff like that. With like, well, it's specifically black women like Cassie Ventura and like Megan the Stallion and Halle Bailey too as well. Um, and they're just in general. This is always something that's going to be a prominent topic because people can't seem to get rid of their biases against women and to really dig deep about their the way they think about women and female victims, and they're always finding a way to take away blame from actual abusers and actual people, the actual perpetrators rather than the victims, you know. And this is just something that is important to talk about. And this is just one story out of many. But thank you so much for watching.